had been, his body, while a pump instead of a muscle made heart waves course through plastic veins. He was in such shock, which is to say out of time, that she couldn't stop thinking of a poem about shades in a burning lake. Some of them sink to the bottom of the lake so that they can't swim out, it said, and these God forgets.
A fleshy nub, an expanding universe, as is cancer, a fingernail or tick, TOC, that can be pared away and, but not, forgotten.
For days after this reunion, the model's panic had matched her husband's shock. But then, as they both began to stabilize, they settled into a pattern completely unlike the weft of time they had shared before the accident. While she continued to work, posing so that the moment of her smile could be frozen as a reproducible object, she also spent vast quantities of what had previously been known as hours sitting beside the organic machine that was, had been, is her husband. First Word had brought many visitors, but gradually all but her brother found better things to do, and she passed into what felt like a form of jet lag, a weariness from crossing time zones to an era before harvest ceased to be a unit of time measure, before minuets hardened into synchronized schedules of work, before styles of clothes began to change not as the generations, but as the winter, summer, or fall into this year's fashions. She fell into an era that existed before time-serving shouldered eternity off the stage. That is, what she was now suffering, she realized, was the strain that had been going around for some time, an epidemic, as diagnosed by some and accepted by others as simply an exhaustion of the times, a malady much like the rootlessness brought on in earlier eras by inventions such as the zero. And yet, unlike most of the other citizens of X, the model wasn't at all stunned to discover that time existed only in its versions. Not just any ordinary character paralyzed in amateur footage. Her perfect smile was luminously fixed, often and forever, by artful manipulation of film and shutter speed, a softening of lips by focus.
Intimate portraits of legs.
The camera is truth itself.
The wonder was that photo shoots hadn't suggested to her sooner the arbitrary nature of time, an artificial grid through which people could model the unmodeled. How else explain the existence of a sentence like, "Tomorrow was another day of work"?